Thank you very much. Once again, we are coming live from Mthatha, Nelson Mandela Museum, with the commemoration of the values of the great man. Your peace and social justice is underway here in Mthatha. Just the values that were pioneered by an international icon, Nelson Mandela. But now I'm joined by Ndileka Mandela, who's going to speak on behalf of the family about this great man, Nelson Mandela. We're commemorating his values today. You must be very excited as a family.
Well, we always are, you know. I mean, the museum has never forgotten. I mean, it's one institution, one of the institutions that has upheld his legacy, his values, his principles. And as a family, we are so ever grateful for the staff of the museum, the council, different councils that have been council members with the museum.
Let's talk about peace and social values that he promoted internationally, if I put it, or worldwide, if I put that way. We know that in the world, countries are not at peace at all.
Well, yes, which is a pity, really, because if there's one of the things that he embodied was peace. If you see how our democracy was begotten, it was begotten in a peaceful manner, to the extent that even when Comrade Krisani died, when the country was on a knife edge, on the precipice of a civil war, he implored people to approach it in a peaceful manner, you know, and he became the voice of reason in conflict situation. His role in Burundi and Rwanda is well known for fostering peace in those countries and also globally.
So do you think maybe Mthatha Mandela will be happy about the release of Janusz Walus, a man who really almost put this country into bloodshed, if I put it that way?
In as much as he would not be happy, however, he was a disciplined man in terms of following due process and the rule of law. And these are the constitutional pillars of our democracy. The judiciary, chapter 9 institution. So he was a person that was very disciplined. I mean, if I can remember, at the time that he was to step down as a president, he had, kind of pinpointed his successor. But because the ANC had said, look, this is what we choose, he was a disciplined cadre. He always abide by the rule of law, by the majority rule. So in as much as he would not be happy, however, he would say that tongue in cheek, because he knows that as a country we need to follow rule of law.
But one would say that ANC is now at disarray, and for sure I don't think Baba Nelson Mandela would be happy about what is going on right now in his own organization.
Well, if I have to take by his words, which to me says even his generation, there's something that they saw prior to their retirement, because he is known to have said that if the ANC does what the apartheid government did, you have every right to vote them out of office. So he would not be happy, and he would implore people, to follow their instincts and to follow what resonates well with them. But knowing him, he would definitely not be happy to see what's happening. Not just him, his generation of communists. I mean, if I have to also remember, I had a chat with Tatum Langeni before he died. I mean, he was really pained by what he was seeing. But, I think as that generation, they felt that they had done what was needed to be done, which was the first building block of our democracy was political freedom. And their slogan of their generation was freedom in our time. They achieved that. The next pillar, which is a lot of things, has to be up to the generation that follows them.
Let's talk about gender-based violence issues, because it's a scourge.
Well, now that you said that, I just arrived from Tanzania, Zanzibar, yesterday, where I was a panelist at the gender-based violence, because they also do the 16 days of gender-based violence. For me, I believe that until such time that we declare gender-based violence a pandemic, it will then that will start to see the tide changing. If you have to look up with COVID, when it was declared a pandemic, all hands were on deck in terms of making sure that there's a vaccine, there's a lot of education that goes around. So similarly, gender-based violence has to be declared not only in South Africa, not only in Africa, but globally as a pandemic. Only then we will start to see the tide changing towards gender-based violence.
Thank you very much. That was Mama Ndileka Mandela speaking on behalf of the family here at Nelson Mandela Museum. You'll remember that the program started, I think, 2 days ago, where it started with a peace walk from Ekunu to Mthatha. So they are continuing with that program to make sure that at least there is peace in South Africa, there is peace in Africa, there is peace in the world. Back to you at studio.